What is going on? You are listening to TAGSPodcast, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast. I am your host, Steve V. This is episode 521, alongside Kodi, Maurice, Doggette. How the hell you doing, Kodi?
Hello, darling. I'm doing wonderful, darling. How are you?
I'm doing lovely.
Lovely.
And joining us today on this Cyber Monday is Teddy Alexis over in LA. How you doing, Teddy?
Hi, guys. I'm great. How are you?
Really good.
Hey,
so
boo.
much. We just post Thanksgiving holiday.
Oof.
You know, one of the things that we asked everybody in a poll as well was, are you having sex on Thanksgiving? And I know, Kodi, you said you weren't. I certainly wasn't because I stuffed my oven, but I did get stuffed post Thanksgiving, I have to say.
Ooh.
You and I, Kodi, went to the Eagle last night, and I made up for that one night of abstaining from sex and had a lot of fun and got my sex in. Did you have sex, Kodi, this weekend?
Did
Oh, my
I have?
goodness.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yes, I did. Wait. Okay, wait. Did I have sex?
You did, girl. I was there. We even ran into a listener that from before that had heard you.
What is sex?
That's so funny. I've been having. Yes, I did have sex. Let's go with that. Yeah, I did. I remember now. Oh my gosh! Wow. Am I getting old, you guys? Wow. Is this what the 40s do to you?
That's
Oh,
our
wow.
other show of a certain age. Teddy, how was your Thanksgiving? And did you have sex?
No sex, no stuffing.
Okay.
But Thanksgiving was pretty chill with my bestie. We went to her in-laws, Jewish rich family in the valley. So great food, great company. It was good.
Very LA. I love it.
hmm
Before we get into anything, you saw, which everybody is calling the Queen of Christmas, Mariah Carey. What can you tell us about the concert? Of course, she sang her iconic song, All I Want for
Oh,
Christmas.
oh my God, you guys! This was everything. It's literally everything you expected to be. It was that and more. So I saw her at the bowl. She had two.
Ooh.
I know she had two nights, and I went to the opening
Hollywood
night.
Bowl, for everyone wondering, the Hollywood Bowl is an
Thank you.
iconic outdoor theater that if you visit LA, you have to go to the Hollywood Bowl. Just see anything there, but if you have
I
to
hmm
see
want to
someone
go.
iconic like Mariah, even better.
Yeah, so the bowl is an amphitheater, which means that it's semicircular. So pretty much all of the seats there are good. But I got section E, which is basically the second section, not the dining ones that are $1,000 though. I'm not
Yeah.
balling like that. But we were really close, and I don't know, she was just like so good, and all the dresses were cute, and her daughter and her son sang with her. So
Oh,
it was
That's
really
like the
cute.
latest thing, right? To bring your children on stage, from Blue Ivy
Right.
to Madonna bringing her children on stage. It's like the
J
latest
Lo's
thing.
kids. Yeah, I
J-Lo?
know. I
Yeah.
know.
Oh, Gloria Stefan. Yeah, I
wow.
love that. Super
But
I got to
yeah,
get some kids.
Let's get
girl,
your
aren't
singles
your
out
eggs
first,
already
girl.
dry?
I'll have to remember having the sex before I get the kids, though. I don't know.
Love it. Oh, I'm so
Oh,
glad to
man.
hear. Let's stay on Thanksgiving to wrap it up before we
Sure.
move into hot topics, because Cher actually performed with her new Christmas song at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, or the Thanksgiving Day Parade. I'm not sure. It had to be Cody, was the Macy's? It had to be,
Yes.
right? Yeah. And she sang her brand new song at the show. Well, interestingly enough, one of her background dancers was a gay porn star, Andre Donovan. And I'm not sure she knew that or not, but Cher's pretty cool. The song's called DJ Play a Christmas Song. And in the video that I'll post on Tag's podcast, Andre, at about the 40-second mark, is behind Cher, and then he returns at the 2:20 for the closing dance. I think this is pretty cool, and I love those that people spotted that. I get this from a gay porn site, Straight Up Gay Porn, and of course he was on it. Kodi, you saw it. First of all, do you like the song, and did you notice Andre Donovan?
I love Cher. And how could you not notice Andre Donovan? He is absolutely gorgeous. And ever since seeing that, I'm rediscovering some of his porn too. So it's good to know
Ooh,
those moves come from somewhere because he is a good dancer and he knows how to move it in the bed too.
I love it. I'm not sure, Teddy, if you saw the performance,
I
and I
did.
know you're such a Mariah Carey fan. How does DJ Play a Christmas Song stack up for you?
Uh,
Be honest, be honest.
you know, I gotta say, I love Cher. I wanna hear the rest of the album, to be honest, because it's a
Oh,
whole
Okay.
she's
album.
she
Um,
said, I'm waiting.
because this song is cute, but it ain't it for a Christmas song. It ain't it. But she redid Christmas by Darlene Love, and apparently it's a duet. And did you know that she did background in the original track? Like I'm waiting for that one to be released. So we'll
Did
see.
she?
Yeah, she
Ooh.
in the original like Spectre album when Darlene Love was like 12 or whatever. Like
Yeah.
she is Cher doing the background for her because that was her
No
first singing gig.
way.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
That's
Wow.
insane. That's so amazing.
And so now
Well,
they're doing a duet version of it. So I want to hear that one.
well, and then since you brought up Darlene Love, we've got to
Hmm.
ask you, as a Mariah fan, I'm
Sure. Oh
assuming you're
my
a
goodness.
fanatic. Most people consider Darlene Love the queen of Christmas, but Mariah has entitled herself the
Sure.
queen of Christmas. Who, in your mind, is the true queen?
Okay, you're not gonna like my answer.
Ooh,
I
kick
think
him
it's
off.
a three-way tie. It's a
Three
three-way
way.
tie with Mariah, Darlene Love, and Brenda Lee.
Oh,
I
wow, you're going way back.
rocking around the Christmas trees. Hello, iconic. I love all Christmas. I cannot. I think
Clearly.
it's like it's Lindsay Lohan. I'm breaking the freaking crown in many pieces, and people are crying about it. It's okay.
I
Yeah.
love that. I like the three-way tie. I could accept that.
Well, Mariah says the Queen of Christmas, Virgin Mary, but I don't know about that.
Okay, yeah. Don't tell her that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, well, let's one last story on Thanksgiving. We all love John Sibilly, and he posted a relatable and kind of a funny public service announcement. Okay, not that serious because he did it on Instagram. Well, it was aimed at all those on social media with gym tone bodies and six packs. He requested that they kindly refute posting Thanksgiving videos bemoaning feeling big and bloated. And from his replies, most of his followers pretty much knew exactly the sort of videos he meant. And somebody wrote, honestly, they can be hot and quiet the rest of the year too, quipped another. Um, I was kind of guilty of actually breaking John Sibley's request. And I went hiking, and I don't know, I was feeling myself since Puerto Vallarta, and took my shirt off on this hike. And I did post a lot of thirst traps in my mind. And how do you guys feel about taking that one day off, Kodi?
Oh, I say post as many as you want, as many thirst traps as you want. I think maybe his issue with it was complaining about being bloated or, oh, I have this beer belly now because I ate too much turkey. That is annoying. Please refrain from complaining that your six pack abs is now a beer belly because you ate a little bit of turkey, queen. Okay? Get it together. So,
Well, you're kind of damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, because I had another friend post a meme that said, please, please, before Thanksgiving, spare us all the Thanksgiving meals. We're all eating the same turkey. And I thought that was hilarious too. So you can't post that. You can't post your thirst traps. Teddy, what can you post?
You can post whatever you want. Be free and happy. I'm a bear,
yes.
so I'm by default bloated. So hey, whatever.
By default.
And
I
we
love
love it.
it.
Yeah.
I have one.
So whatever.
Yeah. I have one more recommendation. If you're really
Sure.
that sensitive, and I'm sure everybody's, winking a nod and but if you really are that sensitive, don't go on social media on Thanksgiving. Then, take that day off and enjoy your friends and family if you can.
That's right. See,
Right.
there's a solution
There you
everybody can
go.
get into.
Yeah,
Turn it
we
off,
love giving
bitch.
advice. Yeah. Okay, we're back on the divorces, and this isn't really a divorce, but you
Wait,
guys,
another one?
I know,
Damn.
this year and gay divorces. We've talked a lot about it. Well, these two guys, Ken dolls, as the article posted, aren't never got married. They actually called it quit before they got married. And I'm talking about Antoni Porowski. You guys know him from the
No
new,
way.
and his fiance are the latest. And just, after a week from Lucas Gage and Chris Appleton ending their 6-month marriage, Antoni and his fiance, Kevin Harrington, are calling off their engagement. And I guess, quote, after many conversations and reflections during the wedding planning process, yes, one of them was becoming a bridezilla, Antoni and Kevin have amicably decided to part ways, and that's according to their publicist. While they still have a lot of respect for each other as they talked more about the future, they realized that they were on different paths. Well, the kudos to them on this one before going to walking down the aisle. I think this is a good part. I think, well, we all know Antoni is doing like 95 jobs, it seems. And so I'm sure that played a lot of it too. But they were posting like a lot of thirst traps together. And I think that's why this article called them Ken dolls. Teddy, what do you think of this latest one? Do you care? And or do you think that this was a good thing that they did it before they actually tied the knot?
I mean, in terms of money, it's way better to get like separated before you get married because all the legal fees. But it's sad. I mean, I don't know. Like, that's the problem when you live so publicly, right? So all the
You're
posts.
right.
Then now, what are you gonna do? Because now we want the breakup post and the breakup pictures, and you're not gonna do that, right? So everybody's gonna be intrigued, and you know, that's the thing. What do y'all
Yeah, I
think?
mean, they're celebrities, Cody, and I think it's why I would wait a minute before putting a lot of anybody I was serious about on social media. I mean, things happen now. And I just think that it's funny that their publicist made this whole announcement
Hmm.
for them. I mean, they're on that journey. What do you think about this latest call it quits?
So I mean, Karamo is probably glad he wasn't invited to the wedding now because
Okay.
now he doesn't have to get them a gift or anything
Nasty.
like that. I
That is
know, right?
hilarious. A former story we talked about, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that I was listening to Kerry Washington. She did an interview a little while ago,
Kerry
and she was talking.
Washington, I love
I
her.
I right? Isn't she amazing?
Love her.
And she was saying that keeping her relationship out of the public eye has been probably what is best for her relationship. She's been in public relationships before, but this marriage that she's in right now, they're not in the public eye, even though he's gorgeous. Have you seen this man? I'll send you a DM. Okay. All right. But I digress. They are so much happier. There's not as much pressure. And she was just uh, singing the praises of keeping your private life private. And I think that that is something that when I become a famous whatever for whatever job I have, I'm going to try and do that as well and keep my private life private, because I think that in times like this with Antoni and with Billy Porter and all of these people that are getting divorced, we are so invested. And like Teddy said, we want to see the pictures now. We want to see all the breakup pictures, everything. We want the download. We think we're entitled to it a little bit. So, yeah.
I agree. And yeah, I mean, you bring up some great points. It's sad, but they live in the public eye. And so, this is what's going to happen. So, anyways, we wish them both well. And yeah. Okay. You mentioned Billy Porter, Cody, and Billy Porter has a brand new album. I think you heard it already, Black Mona Lisa. I just downloaded
Yes.
it before the recording, and I cannot wait to give it a listen this week. First of all, give a quick review to Cody.
I've listened to it through one time. I love the tracks. Of course, I love Children by Billy Porter, which I think is like the third or fourth song. But I mean, it's Billy Porter. His voice is amazing. The The production is amazing, and that album art is fantastic. So I give it a nice 8 or 9 out of 10 after the first listen. So I'm gonna listen to it more and more and let you guys know what I think. But Black Mona Lisa is amazing. I heard about it's written by Justin Tranter. The title track, Black Mona Lisa, is written by Billy Porter and Justin Tranter, who is an amazing songwriter. And I love that song as well. He was talking about the concept for it, and he was saying that he wants his legacy to be long and far reaching. And I couldn't agree more. I think that his legacy, he's been an idol of mine for so long since his first album. I could just
Yeah.
keep going on and on. So, but yeah, I love Billy Porter.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that he's had several albums from back in the day. And
Mhm.
actually, what I wanted to talk about now is he recalled in a recent interview his anger at his record label because one of his songs was given to Celine Dion. And
What?
yes, and
What?
me not being the biggest Celine fan, sorry, but I was like enraged. And
Uh-huh.
it's great to see because we keep talking about all these LGBTQ artists that are really filling up our airwaves and having space. And it's such an exciting time that we have all these great LGBTQ artists that are getting their flowers. Well, when he released his first album, Billy Porter, and this was back in 1997,
Ooh,
he said he was traumatized because the industry was very homophobic. He had an
yes.
R&B deal at A&M and nobody would do anything that I wanted. He said it was all about the smoke and mirrors of trying to make the world think I was straight, that I was masculine. Lisa Fisher talks about this a lot with her first. I don't know if you guys know Lisa Fisher, but her first album, she's such an
I
amazing
live for
singer.
her.
Yeah. And if you look at her first album, it's in a black tight mini dress and so not her today. I mean, now she's with the braids and she's like barefoot on stage and so not like what the label wanted her to be. And she's living her life great now. So, but she was traumatized because they actually gave a song that Love is on the Way that
Hmm.
was supposed to be for him and gave it to Celine Dion. And
Wait,
it
what?
yeah, and so he said, "No, no shade. She's fabulous, but I love her. No shade. She's fabulous." He said, "It's about the systems of oppression that mute and dismiss our contribution to the world. It happened in that moment, and I said, I'm done. If this is all the music business has to offer me, I'm done. She can have it, y'all. Can have it. I'm out." Teddy, when you hear this and
Mhm.
how the shift that we've seen, and now that he's out with Black Mona Lisa,
Yeah.
what's your thoughts?
So I love Billy, and believe that he's a being that he's here to heal the world. Like there's something about him that is creating a lot of
Ooh,
healing, and he's a theater person. And I really like him, and I only heard the single "Children," which I adore, and he's having a great time because on the acting side, I don't know if you guys know, he has a movie coming out here in a
yes.
couple weeks, which is a gay couple. It's called Our Son, and it's a
Y-
gay couple going through divorce. Talking about divorce, hey, segue.
My sister
And
saw it and said it's
oh, really?
amazing. She got a advanced release, but yeah,
Oh, I see. Well, I saw the long trailer for it, and if he's tracking for an Academy Award nomination
him and Coleman
because
Domingo,
wow,
two
it
gay
looks
For
men.
incredible.
Rustin? For
Yep,
Rustin.
two gay black men. I think should get their nods.
Ooh. We're just witnessing, groundbreaking history right there because us that grew up with the '90s content where you couldn't even be gay and it was a career ending to be gay in a movie. This is just beyond our wildest dreams. So I'm glad we're witnessing and let's heal, people. Let's heal.
Yeah, great points, Chetty, because, if you're just to do a reflection on the current state of the world right now, it could be a really sad and dismal moment if you reflect on it. But we have to also nod to the triumphs that we're seeing. And these are some of the major triumphs, particularly with LGBTQ people. And we need to celebrate them because you're right. I grew up in that same period too. And so glad that Billy Porter is still around and now he's getting all his accolades. And shout out to Of a Certain Age, when, it's no longer you have to be 20 or 30. It's like you can have a renaissance or start something at any age. Kodi, when you're embarking on your singing career, and you're going to be releasing a brand new single for our other
Woo!
podcast, Of a Certain Age, title track. That show
Ooh.
is available wherever you get your podcast, Of a Certain Age, OACA, OACA, as we like to say. New
Log it,
episode out
Cass.
this Wednesday, episode 6. But Kodi, when you hear this about Billy, does it give you hope with your burgeoning singing career?
Oh, definitely. Billy Porter has given me so much inspiration in my hopefully fruitful singing career. All the artists that are out now, Little Nas X, Troye Sivan, I look to them, and Janelle Monáe. I think
Sam
that
S-
they Sam
Sam
Smith.
Smith,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All of
Mhm.
him too, because
Kim
he's being his
Petras.
authentic self. We could go on and on.
Okay.
We are in a gay renaissance right now.
Call it,
Okay.
call it.
Love it.
Because I think that all of them are so fantastic and they're so inspiring, and they actually gave me a lot of they gave me the fire that I needed and the inspiration to actually be myself, because I used to be kind of scared to come out as myself in my music. Oh, am I going to sing about a girl? Oh,
Ooh.
am I being too gay? I don't. So all of those things were weighing heavy on my mind, and I feel like it hindered me as an artist. But now I'm like, fuck it. Who cares at this point? It's almost 2024. We are
Mhm.
living for ourselves, and Billy Porter is leading the pack. So let's go.
Hey, and Cher has a porn star as her backup dancer.
I
So let's on the
know.
Macy's fucking Thanksgiving Day parade.
Talk
So
about healing.
yeah, doesn't
Heal the
when you can
world.
bring porn into the Thanksgiving Day parade, it's like times
Mhm.
are changing, y'all. Okay, let's get a little
Oh, one
saucy.
more thing before
Yeah.
we move on. And I don't know
Course.
if you guys saw, but Angela Alvarez just won the Best New Artist at the Latin Grammys, and she's 96. So or 90
Okay.
Hey.
something. She's 90 something. I don't know her correct age, but that is inspiring. So it's never too late, everybody out there.
Never too late.
Absolutely. Love that. Thank you. A recent Reddit discussion was asking the question about sexiest smells for gay men. It said, as you might imagine, many of the commenters said they love sniffing musk, both the natural and the sprayed on varieties. Well, others said what they don't like, like BO. And others went on to say the natural men smells or pits or crotch. Somebody else said just showered smell on a really cold night when you get under the warm covers. Ooh, that sounds nice with body heat. And somebody said the first guy I spent the night with, I woke up with my face in his left armpit. And and it kind of imprinted on me. Clean, but not recently showered man musk. Somebody said that lovely halfway point when the deodorant is wearing off and the musk is creeping into it. So I want
So
to hear
good.
what you guys have to say. And I do think most of these were that point where it switches, that midpoint. I agree with this, where way before it gets to BO, because honestly, that for me, there's a bar that I often go to, and in this particular community, not everybody, but some people actually do not like, everyone knows what I'm talking about. Some people in this community it's frowned upon for wearing any fragrance that you bought at a store. Deodorant is a no-no, and I'm sorry, no. It's just like, I almost have like this gag reflex that happens in me. It's really bad. I can't. But but I do think what everybody was kind of talking about, at least in this thread, was that midpoint where you get that kind of natural thing. The other thing I'll add before I hear from you is, I've said it before, I love feet, and I actually like, sweaty feet and that smell. And I'm sure people
Oh,
are like, ew,
really?
no. I
Aw.
do. I do. It's like that's probably, but see, all the other smells, no. Kodi, what can you tell us about your love of scents on a man?
Can I just applaud you first and foremost for that diplomatic? That was
Do I get
amazing.
the award for
It was
diplomacy?
you do, baby, because that was a beautiful dance, and I watched it, and I was in love with you from it. So thank you so much for that.
You're very welcome.
So I am in complete agreement. The moment when it starts to turn from deodorant smell to BO is heavenly. I actually plan my night around it. I
Oh,
put on
Oh my God.
I
here we
know,
go.
right? It's I put on deodorant at a specific time, like 2 or 3 hours before I go out, and that way it is wearing off as soon as I get out, and it's just the perfect blend of BO and deodorant. You have to start doing this. It is
Ooh, I think you
amazing.
want to
The
change the word
boys eat
from
it up.
BO to musk,
Musk, yes, darling,
natural
yes.
musk,
Natural
right?
man musk. Oh yes, I'm sorry. Yes,
That's
I
really a
stand
good
corrected.
tip of
So,
yours.
let me stop this madness. What is the difference between BO and Musk? That was my first question.
Okay, so BO, as many of us know it, is if you've been out in the sun all day, you're working out, your deodorant has totally worn off,
Okay.
and it is that rancid is the word that comes to mind. That almost like if you can think of Pepe Le Pew, it's
Okay.
that whiff that kind of gets into your nostrils, and you're like, oh my God, it can take my dick and just soften it immediately. And then musk is what we've been talking about is, the deodorant might, you've showered, you definitely showered, you put on
Sure.
deodorant, but it's been several hours and maybe you've danced a couple, you did your little groove thing and, maybe you're sweating a little bit, but it's because you showered and because it's wearing off, it's like, ooh, the manliness is starting to come out way before you get to rancid BO. So does
Got
that
it.
help? Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to know what I was rejecting. So
What cards are we playing here?
so I gotta say, um, I'm a conservative in this topic for the first time.
Okay.
I rather
Really?
be with a man that literally just stepped off the shower like 3 seconds ago. I want to smell the perfumes. I want to smell the deodorants. I want to smell the soaps. I disagree. But y'all enjoy
No.
your musky BOs or whatever you want to call them.
Musky, yes. BO, no. Let that go down in the records.
Okay,
It's
got
the
it.
pheromones for me. I am all about the natural pheromones of a manly
Oh,
man.
not the
So
pheromones. Okay.
yes, it's what attracts me to a man. That's how I know that I am in bed with a man, having sex with a man, and that I am attracted to.
And can I also add too that there's this fine line with the crotch area, like the ball area, where I was just in Puerto Vallarta where it was steamy hot all day long. Now, I do not want to smell my man's crotch after he's been out all day because I know what my crotch probably smelled like too. But there is that fine line too where it does get a little musky down there, which I actually find a turn on, but it's a few degrees away from going south for me. Does that
Hmm.
make sense, Cody?
Oh yes, oh yes. And you know what helps me? I have tips and tricks for all of
Oh,
this
you really
because
do.
Please don't.
the Manscaped ball spray that they have is so
Yes.
good. So, and it's not too perfumey. I'm sorry, Teddy, for you. Um, so it's not too perfumey, and it's just enough to help balance out that smell. So, yeah, that's I would go with that.
I love it. Okay. Let us know how you weigh in on that. Where are you at on the spectrum of the male scent? And we'll read some of them on an upcoming podcast here at Tags. A recent interview came out about an author and his brand new book. The book is called Daddies of a Different Kind: Sex and Romance Between Older and Younger Adult Gay Men. The author is Tony Silva. Could be a good Christmas gift for many of us. I think I really want to read it. It's a really lengthy but great interview about essentially research that's finding that younger men are more ravenous than ever before for older guys. And they asked the question, is gay ageism a thing of the past? This is so encouraging to me for so many
Oh
reasons.
yeah.
He analyzes the stories of gay and bisexual daddies in qualitative research project. And he interviewed 39 older men and 26 younger men about their May-December relationships. And much to his surprise, he learned the desire for younger queer men to partner with much older queer men has skyrocketed, directly contradicting old narratives that ageism is rampant in gay culture. He spoke with Queerty, and I'll post it all because we don't have time to read it all, but some of his findings were really interesting, and I'll read a few of them. He said a lot of younger guys he talked to overwhelmingly said that they found men around their own age in their 20s and 30s to be really immature, and we're not looking for the same things. They're interested in someone who is not only emotionally mature and stable, but might also be looking for a relationship. And they reported older guys were also better at communication. A lot of younger men were also attracted to stability. They also said things like, they were attracted to the confidence that older men had. And even in the bedroom, they said things like sex was more of a connective type of experience, and it wasn't just like a wham bam kind of thing, but hot at the same time as well. Older men also knew more what they wanted and liked, and that's something I could definitely relate to in my early 50s, as opposed to, when I was being photographed for homoerotic pictures back in the day in my 20s. I may have looked like I was a sexual being, but I was so nervous. And, even though I was a go go
Hmm.
dancer, I was much more prudish, I would say. In my adult years, of course, I got into the BDSM culture, which is a whole opens your eyes not only to the culture, but to your sexuality and trying new things. I definitely have said on this show in recent months how I have embraced my versatility, which I was always more on the bottom side. I'm definitely much more confident than I used to be. And I attract younger, not super young, but in the 10 to 15 years younger. And I'm loving it. And I love this new study. I think it's a great book. Hopefully, we can get him on the show because he could extrapolate
Ooh.
more. But Teddy, when you hear this, what are your thoughts? Is this you work in research and in LGBTQ studies? What do you think
Mhm.
of this finding?
Um, I always been that is before bros for sure, and so I'm not surprised. We've seen it in different civilizations where there's always been like an older figure with a younger man. Some of it has been like problematic, of course, but it's something that is kind of like in terms of man to man relationship, we do see it. So, and it makes sense. Yeah, we always like somebody that is more experienced than us. I love me as zaddy, and I love being a zaddy. It just both of those situations for me are lovely, and as long as it's consensual, it's really fun. So I'm not
I love it.
surprised. Yeah.
And Cody, like when you hear this, because for years it seemed like there's ageism in general in the general
Hmm.
population, but particularly back in the day, in when I was 90s and early 2000s, it seemed our gay community was really ageist, and you had to look a certain way, and if you just were ignored if you were of a certain age.
Hmm.
And it seems like it's shifting a little bit, much like the music industry is shifting in our favor. What do you make of all this?
Well, when I was younger, I loved me a daddy. I dated
Mhm.
several older men. So I guess people are finally just catching up to the allure of the daddy and just in time for me to become a daddy. So
Okay.
so I love it. I think it's great. I think that finally society and is taking less and putting less into age and knowing that it's just the number and it's really about connection and all these things that these people are lauding, and in the fact that knowing yourself and things of that nature and being free with your sexuality. So I think that the older generation has a lot to teach the younger generation and they're finally getting into it. So I'm here for it. Let's go. Come on, young
Absolutely.
boys.
And it's not like
Over
ageism
21
is
though.
okay. Love that.
Sure.
Thanks for qualifying. It's not like ageism has gone away. I mean, just over the past weekend, Dolly Parton performed at, I think it's some sporting event. I won't even try and lie that I know what it was, but she did. And she was in hot pants and she's in her 70s and she looked amazing. She has a brand new rock album out. And a lot of the trolls were coming for her and saying, "You're too old," or like, "Act your age," is essentially what they were saying.
Mm.
And it's always the trolls that are can't handle people living out loud. And I'm in my early 50s. If someone and I post a lot of thirst traps, and like, people need to leave everybody alone and get over like the age thing. You are also going to get of a certain age at some point, and you will be thanking anybody you worship if you look like Dolly or a lot of these people. I mean, see what you look
She
like, and if
looked
you're
great.
performing
Mhm.
at the major, you know what I mean? I mean, it's crazy, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. Dolly looks amazing. So anybody who has anything to say, I think that they should just mind their own business and keep their negative opinions to themselves.
Right. And it's always these trolls hiding behind a computer that have a lot to say about this. It's like, you don't have to be Dolly, but you also don't have to hate on Dolly. And she looks
That's
amazing.
right.
So,
She
look, I mean,
does.
she can wear those hot pants. So, go Dolly. Okay. Well, we need to weigh in on this Reddit thread. They asked the question, is it just me? I encounter an alarming number of guys, this person wrote, who will stop messaging me after the first couple of dates or even the first date. It's not even ghosting, it's like quiet ghosting. They they'll reply if I message them, but only with the bare minimum, and they'll never initiate a conversation. So I usually stop messaging and things just die off. I've always dealt with this to an extent, but it seems to be happening more frequently than ever. It's especially frustrating because the dates always go so well, and there's nothing indicating that there's a loss of interest. I know it's a common thing when dating, but it's been happening so frequently and it's so sudden. I'm trying to figure out what, if anything, I possibly did wrong. I get that there are just first dates and people are allowed to change their minds, and no one owes me an explanation, but I would think they would just send a "sorry, this won't work for me" text as courtesy. Being left hanging just really sucks. And it got me thinking a little bit about a meme, or it was a TikTok video that a friend of mine posted over the holiday that essentially said that it had this old like music and this authoritative man talking that was saying, when true friends will respond to you, or people that you want to hang out with that will respond to you. If somebody, don't try and, I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't try and reach out to those. If those people aren't responding to you, don't waste your time on them. They're not interested in you, or at least the way you are, and it's okay. And the sooner you realize that, like, people make time for who they want to make time
Yes.
for. And it's kind of a hard lesson. I've certainly learned the hard way in my lifetime, and have now, I think I was telling you the other night, Kodi, about how a person that I was interested in, we made plans. We've gone on a couple different dates, and I was excited to see him. And while I still had a good time, I thought he was going to casually meet up with me at this bar. And he didn't. I messaged him like 3 times. I still had fun, but
Mhm.
he never. 3 o'clock the next day, he said, "Sorry, Steve, I fell asleep." And well, I know he had a busy day before. I could see where I was definitely a little more excited and putting a little more energy than as compared to his intentions or what. And I've just decided, well, I'm not going to put any more energy into that. Well, I will if he reaches out, sure. But the old me would be making excuses for him, and then maybe even reaching out to him, barking up that tree. No, I think people show you who they are. People that spend time with you, we're all busy, but it's a hard lesson to learn, but the sooner you recognize that, I think the better off. Teddy, what do you think of this on what this person is saying or anything that I've shared.
No, I agree with you. It's people, you have to believe people when they show you who they are the first time, right? So,
Right.
and we are in a society and timeline where there's so much access to people, and people don't want to invest in relationships. They are all looking for the better thing and the better guy and the better date and the better friend. So, if that's the vibe for them, then it sounds like this guy is somebody that likes to invest their time in their relationships. So maybe you want to take the hint of these people are not on your lane. So it's okay for them to do that, because then you're not, a year out or 2 years out on a relationship that ended up not working out because that was the intent, just to use you as a holdover until they're the better thing. So to me, that's how I take it.
Yeah.
We live in very big cities where literally even any interaction that we have, the person is already like looking to what's next, and you're like, oh, good morning to you too, like, you know what I mean? So it's just heartbreaking sometimes, but I think if the hint is there, then take the hint and move on.
I
Move on.
agree. I agree with you. And Kodi, of course, I want to hear from you. One thing that struck me as you were saying your take, Teddy, is
Hmm.
also to just, focus on your friendships. It would be my other advice too. And when I say friendships, like like a couple allies, really true, and that takes time too. But put a lot of your energy in those, so that because friendships, really true friendships, weed out some of the bad ones too, and
Hmm.
so that you can just have those. So, when a guy shows to be ghosting or flaking, you're like, you know what? I've got my tribe. I I'm good. And focus on what you're passionate about, because you can also rely on those things, and guys can come and go. Somebody will come that connects with you at some point, but you're going to go through a lot of those throwaways, and you never know the alignment that's going on in the world, what's really going on in their world. You probably don't want to
Mm.
really know too much. And that would be my other advice too. But Kodi, weigh in on this.
Yeah, I totally agree with you guys. For anybody out there that is being ghosted, just look at it. You have to take that perspective of that they're not the one for you, basically. And if they were the one for you, then they would have stayed. They would have put in that effort. They would have made sure that they were trying to communicate with you. Everything that you guys have been saying has been making me feel really guilty.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I was like, how honest should I be? And I'm going to be completely all the way honest. That's the name of this game. That's why we do this podcast. I am not in a space for me to actually go out and jump into a relationship right now. I was talking to this guy, and I think that he wants to move faster than me at this point. And
Hmm.
I told him in the beginning, I'm just getting out of a relationship. I want to take this slow. I'm not trying to be your boyfriend. I'm trying to go on dates with you, maybe make out a little bit and see where it goes, and make sure that I do my due diligence as far as making sure that I am over my ex, and I'm want to move forward with you. And I think that he just wanted to move faster, but
Hmm.
I think I slow ghosted him, unfortunately.
Cody.
I
No,
know, but
no.
it's not but in a perfect world that would never happen. But it's something that it's so readily available. And don't laugh, Teddy.
No, it's just saying that it wouldn't happen, but you made it happen. It's not like it happened to
But
you.
okay, it
Wait, but
hasn't
can I
been
stop you really quickly, Kodi? Because
but it hasn't been too long, and I could still message him and say and let him know all of these things. So it's good that we're actually talking about it. And what were you going to say, Steve? Go ahead.
I
Intervention,
was
please.
I was gonna say that I thought I remembered you telling me that you
We were
did
talking about
tell
it last night.
him. Yeah, we talked about it last night, that you did tell him that you were fresh out of this relationship,
I
and
totally told him.
you put up those signs and those stop posts for him. And you also told me it seemed like he either didn't want to hear that, receive that. And I think you did all the right things from what you told me, is that you can, if you're honest and you tell somebody where you're at. I had somebody recently tell me early on that they're a narcissist, but and he was joking. He's like, "Uh-oh, red flag, red flag." And I'm like, "No." And he says, "But I'm aware of it, and it's something I'm always, either working on or not letting it get too out of control." And I told that to my sister, and she was like, "You know what? Most people don't have that self-realization. Everybody
Hmm.
has something that they're working on or something internally. The fact that he told you that early on was great." And so I think
Mhm.
you did tell him. If he didn't want to hear it and he's still pursuing it as if, then I would quiet ghost too, because you did tell them and they didn't receive it.
I hear that, and I still think that I could go one step further and let him know where
Yes,
my headspace is, because
exactly.
I do think that, not that he's owed that, but
You
I
owe
do
him all
think
that
that
though. It's like, my
I don't know
God.
if it's but I would like to be a good person and let him know my headspace, and that it's not him, because who likes to be ghosted? It doesn't feel good.
Yeah, and I and disagreeing a little bit with Steve is, I feel like communication is something that we can never have too much of. It's like kale, it's like good for you. So just keep, you have to keep the conversation opening. It's like, okay, how are we feeling right now? Are we good? Like, what's happening? I think that's what is happening, is that you're feeling a certain way that you haven't communicated with him. And then the best easy way out is just to not talk about it and then let the relationship fizzle out, you know?
Yeah.
So I
And then
think,
go
okay,
ahead.
go ahead.
No,
Well,
no,
I was gonna
finish your thought.
say because the thing is, Cody and I talked whenever before the live, and then he told me he was like dating. I'm like, ooh, that was fast, but I didn't say anything. But I felt like I should have, because I feel like you really do need to heal. And as somebody, I see you as a very, very older brother, and
Wow. Too
I
many olders, bitch.
I had to put the shade in somehow. But I do want you to heal and be that wonderful man that you are. I don't want you to damage somebody else. I think you're incredible and
I
communicate.
think you're incredible. Yeah. And Steve, thank you for defending me. I appreciate that,
Well,
because you're a true friend. And I mean, thank you very much.
Well, and it was just what I felt the truth of the full matter here. And, this is, you would probably agree on ghosting, this really brief, quick story. I was in Puerto Vallarta maybe during the summer, and I was at this grocery store, and I met this guy. We were cruising each other in the vegetable aisle. I think I told the story. And sexy, hot, we exchanged info and we went back and forth. I was leaving shortly after that, but we had made this plan to get together when I was coming back, which was going to be about 6 weeks later.
Hmm.
And I remember he messaged me as I was landing on that particular trip, like, "You must be in the air or landing." And I said, "Yes." And I was like, "Wow, look at this, is so great. I'm going to go on this date with this guy that I met in the grocery store. How cool is that?" And he messaged me too, and we chit chatted. And long story short is he never showed up. So look, we set a date, and then
Mm-mm.
he was supposed to have and I said, and I was telling my friends, "Oh, you guys go to dinner because I'm going to meet this guy." And he never responded. So I ended up going to dinner with my friends with my tail between my legs. Not really, but they were very supportive, my sister and my
Hmm.
friend. And, you get excited for these things. And then at like 11 o'clock
No,
p.m., he messages me, "Sorry, when I'm with these friends of mine,
no,
they had a party and I lost track of time and we were drinking a lot."
11
And
o'clock?
yeah,
No,
yeah,
and
block.
then a text at 12:30, "Hey, I'm in the bar scene. Where are you?" I, of course, I ignored. And that, of course, I gave him one more chance because I kind of told him, well, I was waiting for you, whatever. We set it
Mhm.
up for the following week. He also didn't message me and messaged me after the day we were supposed to get together. And I just wrote him off. Well, cut to this recent trip, and I'm back in La Comer, shout out to my favorite grocery store. And I get a text, and
So
I'm
nice.
like, oh my God, can he see me? Like, how weird how he texts me in the same grocery store. He must follow me on social media, eat your heart out, and knew that I was in Puerto Vallarta and was like, hey, saw you, how's your trip been? Not sure if are you still in town? And I did not respond
Good
because
for
I
you.
thought I do not want to keep this conversation in the ethernet. And it's just he's proven. Meanwhile, I've met somebody else in Puerto Vallarta that is meets and shows up, and it's like, yeah, no, sorry, next. So
There you
that's
go.
a reason to go somebody, I think, legitimately when somebody's just flaky.
Oh yes, that is a legitimate ghost.
Yeah.
Amen.
Right. So we could go on this topic, but my
I
goodness,
Apparently.
mean,
I think we
we got
only.
stories to tell. I feel like.
Wow, I know. Well, let's just end on a little pop culture here. Target, you remember Target or during Pride, they had a whole LGBTQ line and they scrapped a couple of items because they were getting some flack from certain people, or people were coming in and destroying the the some of the displays. Do you remember that, guys? And
Yeah.
Hmm.
now Target is back with a gay nutcracker. And I actually love
Mhm.
nutcrackers. My mom collects nutcrackers for Christmas, and this one has a LGBTQ hat and has like the holding the flag proudly. It's actually really cute. I may want to get it. I'm not sure, but they also have a black Santa in a wheelchair, which is interesting too. And do you think that Target? I mean, are, is this just pandering, a little too
Girl.
late or like trying too hard in this climate, Cody?
Literally took the words out of my mouth. Pandering is what came to my mind as soon as you said this. So I think it might be a little bit too late. Tarjay is fabulous, so I'm not going to completely write them off. But girl, scale it back just a little bit. Black Santa in a wheelchair. That is
I
while it's
know.
amazing, but
I don't think they're going to like this, Teddy. What are your thoughts on this? Is this just marketing gone
Yeah,
south?
it's marketing. There's somebody in the target marketing people that are in the higher the HQ doing these things, and they clearly have a market for it. I don't mind it. I mean, you wonder they have the regular nutcracker right next to it. I find them ugly, so I'm not gonna buy neither. But but yeah, I mean, I think it's cool to have different representation of different things. So I I don't mind it. There's people that get offended by it. If you want to buy it. If not, I'm good with it.
Bigger fish to fry. I got it.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, so I love this show, you guys. So awesome talking with you guys. Just a quick reminder, programming note. This Wednesday, we're back with a new Of a Certain Age OACA, OACA, wherever you get your podcast. Of a Certain Age. It's Cody and mine, my new podcast that we are on episode number 6, I believe.
I believe, yeah, I think that's right.
This week we're talking to somebody that's going to talk about mental health and really good stuff. Check it out. Of a Certain Age, OACA, wherever you get your podcast, drops Wednesday morning. Check it out. Also follow us on the gram, Of a Certain Age Pod, POD, Of a Certain Age Pod. And this Wednesday, Cody and I are doing Tags Live. Of course, we're back. We took last week off, and super
Woo-hoo.
excited to welcome Jet of Jet's Private Tours on the show. I met him when we were up with Vakaya, and we're going to be talking about his Naked Beach tours, OnlyFans. We have a big announcement to make. It's going to be juicy, sexy. You do not want to miss it. Plus,
Ooh.
Chet's not hard on the eyes, so you want to check him out as well. You can follow my co-host, though. Follow Teddy on the gram at Teddy Alexis, at Teddy Alexis. Anything else you want to plug, Teddy?
No, just follow me on Instagram, baby.
Love it. And follow Kodi. He's a life coach at KMD Coaching. KMD Coaching on Instagram, as well as his salacious gram at Mr. Maurice. At Mr. Maurice. I love saying that.
Ooh.
Follow me. I am _Steve V. Okay. And in the meantime, guys, continue having hot,
Hot
gay,
gay
sex.
sex.
Love you guys.
Love you, baby.